Today we continue with our class Shemoneh Perakim, Rambam, and we start with the Sefer Chofetz Chaim, and the big topic is the same: laws of harmful speech. Today's topic: disparagement and ridicule. Making a statement about a product that would discourage people from buying it constitutes speaking lashon hara, as it could harm the livelihood of either the manufacturer or the storekeeper who sells it. In certain situations, however, this would be permissible, as we will discuss later. So basically, a person says about a product or services about someone, right? About another Jew. So in many cases, it would be forbidden, considered lashon hara. Similarly, it is forbidden to make a cynical comment about the speaker that could either discourage people from attending his lecture or weaken the impact of the message. And I heard it many times, right, about all of the righteous people. About not so righteous, there is no, it's a hara, has no problem. Right? That's no, he's too strict. And I always ask, but in what he's strict? No, he's strict. So give me one example. Nobody were able to give me like a sensible example. I said that's from the Torah. That's a minimum requirement, whatever they said. But for other person, okay, he's too strict. Why should I go with this too strict, right? I try to go to the medium path, right, as we say. So people take out that context. Of course, and that person who made it cynical remark or whatever remark, so he's going to be responsible, of course. As with any mitzvah, a child should be trained to avoid speaking lashon hara as soon as he reaches the age of understanding in this regard. So with children, are they obligated to keep mitzvahs? No, but we have to train them as early as possible. If child understands, so you have to teach them in blessings and all other things as soon as they understand. It is common for children to denigrate the food they served, causing hurt to the cook. Children should be trained to avoid making such a comment. So that's very common, right? They don't like this, it's to this and to that. So we have to train children not to say all these negative things about the food. At least, start from this. This is a big one. Okay, so we continue with Shemoneh Perakim. We're in chapter 4. And the topic, it's very interesting topic. It says healing the spiritually ill. Right? There are physically ill people and some spiritually ill. And just a little few highlights from the last time. So we said that, of course, we do mitzvahs because HaShem said so. Right? It's the main reason. But the second reason is actually to develop and improve our character traits. And Rambam gave us a few examples. Right, an example with the tithe and leket and shehicha and peah and peret and aledet, all of these agricultural gifts that Torah says leave it to poor people, right? Some undeveloped grapes, like forgotten sheaf. If you forgot sheaf, you're not allowed to return. It belongs to a poor, and actually it would teach us what a mercy, right? What else there? One second. And another thing, it says that when one person kills another, even if it was accidental, so the family actually they can the family, the blood avenger, can actually kill another person. They kill the killer, right? But I think it's not everybody can kill, only the one who could inherit, but potentially inherit from that person. So they can kill the killer. Okay, even without any court. That's why killer must run as soon as possible to that designated city, or to the city of Levites, right? and also, right? We said also, do not take vengeance or bear grudge, right? So all of this mitzvah is should help to develop right attitudes, right, in life. Okay. Rise about before the white-haired man and so forth. Okay, continue with new material, same chapter, like a new paragraph. Okay, so it says our sages have made many brilliant statements about these matters, um, incomparable to any others I have seen. For example, the Yerushalayim Talmud, in a nice chapter of Nedarim, condemn those who obligate themselves in oath and vows to the extent that it is as if they are fettered. So I give you this example. So they say that so the sages were very against person making vows, right, and take all the like promises. So why? Because most likely the person is not going to follow up on these vows, right, and it's going to be he's going to be held accountable because of them. And it says because of the stupidity of the father, his children die, and if he does not have children, if he make the promise, right, and he cannot keep it, so his wife can die. Chas v'shalom. So when children, chas v'shalom, when they die in a young age, so very likely it's because of the promises of the father, right? So our sages say don't make these promises. And I know one person, and when he told me the problem, I always fainted. So this person, he tried to go very strictly and put himself on the right path, above and beyond. And he did not have a rabbi at that point, and he read everything from the book, and he made all of the vows that I'm not going to do this and that, from different books. This guy went over the board. So after that, when we started talking, so I told him, you have to nullify all of these vows. That's not Judaism. Okay, one vow a person should make to make him strong, but all of these things he did, all of the craziness of the world. That's what the side effects not to have a rabbi. And then of course he suffered. Of course he could not uphold this vows. You read the book, you get excited. You said, yeah, I'm going to do exactly as Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Exactly. And guess what? You're not. And circumstances are different. Continue. So that's the wisdom of sages. Among the statements, there is the following. Rav Edi says, in the name Rabbi Yitzchak, it is not enough that for you that the Torah is forbidden. This is concept that we have mentioned in concise terms, without any adding or diminution. Okay. So Rav Edi said, so it's not enough that the Torah tells you. So if you look at the Shulchan Aruch, I always tell everybody, don't take any stringency. Just try to follow the regular basic line halacha, and it's already a lot. So, and how do you know it's a lot? Because I was asked, how much you in Shulchan Aruch in the Mishnah Brura? Where are you? Did you finish laws of Shabbos one time? I have not seen any person who finished unless this seriously learned person that finished the laws of the Shabbos one time from the beginning of that with basic commentaries. It's very interesting. But our sages say if a person did not finish laws of the Shabbos one time, for sure he's mechal Shabbos. What is the percentage? It's 100%. Very simple. There are so many intricate details that if he is not desecrating something biblical, rabbinical for sure. Right? Okay. Continue. So no stringencies, as what is it? Rav Idi said in the name of Rav Yitzchak, we have enough stringencies in Torah. Okay, don't be too righteous. Continue. I mean, be righteous, but don't be like one of these people that do like all of this stringencies in one area and don't do any other areas at all. That's what usually the case. Okay. From our explanation, so continue. From our explanation, this chapter, a person should realize the importance of the direction of directing his conduct toward the middle path, and that is improper to deviate to either extreme, except for the purpose of healing his conduct and acquiring the influence of the opposite trait. To cite an example. Okay, so before we go to example, so as we said before a few times already, it's proper to go in the middle path. But before you get to middle path, you have to correct your character traits. Like the middle path is a goal, but sometimes we go a little over in order to land to end up in the middle path. Okay, so and Rambam, I don't know like how many times he already stressed it because it's so important. So extreme to either case from a medium, it's not good. To the left, to the right, extreme to this, extreme to that, not good. It's not healthy and it's not productive. And as I told one person today, it's only a matter of time when he's going to crash. He crashed a few times, unfortunately, but he's trying to rebuild himself. But that's not the Torah way. So people try to mix up their own opinion and they overestimate themselves. Unfortunately, you have to believe in yourself a little, but or a lot, but do not overestimate. Especially when you failed a few times and you try to go like all the way up again. Okay, right. So that's what Rambam is saying. You build up slowly, right? Try to go in the middle path. To cite one example, a person who is well versed in the medicine, who sees the disposition change, his disposition change slightly, should not ignore this and allow the infirmity to become stronger, so that he will be forced to take very strong medication. So that's a very good example. So let's look at this example. So one more time, to set the example, a person who is well versed in the medicine, who sees disposition, the disposition change slightly, should not ignore this and allow the infirmity to become stronger, so that he will be forced to take very strong medication. So if you have some issues and you understand it's something abnormal, you have some pain somewhere, so you have to go to the doctor. We have an example. Fortunately, I have a friend and his mother passed away, and I asked him, and he told me that my mother passed away. So I asked him, it was 5 years ago, whatever years ago it was. So I asked him, was she sick? He said, I just found out today she was sick. Of course, they live separately, and she said she had this pain, but she was so busy at work, she didn't have time to go to a doctor. Guess what? And when she finally went to a doctor, so she had cancer, and like a year later or 9 months later, so she died in the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Right? Very, very fast, basically. So why? Because it was a pain, but she ignored it. She was too busy making money. Guess what? Right. So we said don't wait until it's you need to take very strong medication. And it's the same is everywhere. Like with all of our situation, try to fix the situation as soon as possible, as we say about the donkey. Right, so try to help your friend or your enemy to reload the donkey while it's still standing, right? Because if the donkey is going to collapse under its weight, so it would be very, very hard. You have to unload completely, help the donkey up. Donkey is very heavy, right? So it's a lot of work. So do as soon as possible. Similar person, before it deviated too much from the normal. Similarly, if a person knows that one of the limbs is weak, he should always take care of it, staying away from things that can harm him, and seeking things that will help to heal that limb, or to heal, to at least prevent it from become weaker. Okay, so that's a perfect example. So somebody is have, I don't know, like back problem, right? And the person will try to be a hero and help everybody to carry their bags. Okay, that's in airport or something, right? Take from the carousel. Don't do that. Like you have try to protect yourself, right? Try to protect yourself, and if you know how to heal it, go to a doctor. Okay, that's very simple practical examples. Similarly, a person who has perfected his character should always analyze his personal qualities, weigh carefully his conduct, and evaluate the inclination of his souls every day. A second. So let's, this we're going to go line by line. That's very important. If he sees that his soul tends toward either of the extremes, he should immediately seek to heal himself, without allowing the undesirable characteristics to enter themselves through the repetition of undesirable acts, as we have explained. So let's go back and we're going to explain what it says here. So similarly, a person who has perfected his character should always analyze his personal qualities. So okay, so person worked on a character, so he was stingy, now he's not. But you have to always overlook, see how am I performing, on a day-to-day basis, right? And that's what the Mizrachi teaches us, right? Of course, he goes into details and how person have to do this accounting, every day. Set for yourself time. What is it? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you need. 20 minutes. Go at the end of the day. Go over your activities, or even in the middle of the day, right? When you by yourself, without any distraction, and analyze and write down. Okay, here I did. I was very rude to that person. This person was nasty to me, but I did not answer. Okay, so you write down all of these things and analyze the situation. Okay, this character trait looks like it fixed, but this needs more work, right? So only when you do it on a daily basis, you have a chance to succeed. Otherwise, if you let it go for a long time, it would be very hard to fix. So okay. Personal qualities, which carefully. So one more time, the whole sentence. Similarly, a person who has perfected his character should always analyze his personal qualities, weigh carefully his conduct, and evaluate the inclination of the soul every day. So even though the person looks like he actually is winning, he changed his character traits, but you remember, we're not static. It's not like angel. It's not like a pole, a lighting pole. Okay, they installed it 70 years ago in this street, in this such and such place. It's going to be there, but it's not so with a person. So we are under different circumstances. There are different encounter with people. People change, right? And so we have to, even though we once reached this medium, we have to work on ourselves and constantly review our actions. If he sees that the soul tends toward either of the extremes, he should immediately seek to heal himself. So any extreme is not good. So he was able to put himself in the middle. Now to this extreme, that extreme, not good, right? So try it, even with when deviation is not so much, it's easier to go back. But if it's too much, it's very hard to fix it. Without allowing the undesirable character traits to stretch themselves through the repetition. So and that's what we said about when we just started, I think, this chapter, right? So how is a character is affected through the repetition. So the character and your habits it's one of the same. Like you're doing things over and over and over again, and becomes your character. It's became those things becomes your habits, right? So and same. Just to remind us what Rambam said. That's how you fix it, right? You try to repeat things over and over and over again, right? So now you're going to trying to go to the proper path, but now you're doing good things, right? I mean, good meaning closer to the median, and that's like simple. It's so simple, but that's how you do it, right? First, you force yourself, you control yourself, until after sometimes you repeat it, some actions so many times, it becomes your second nature. It's you. So your character is like what you train yourself how to react to certain circumstances. For example, all of us have a red button, and people who are closer to us, they know these buttons, and they sometimes they would push. Not that because they want you to explode, but because they want you to explode, basically on a subconscious level. Right, so you know those red buttons, and you know the situation. So you have to be prepared that this person, that doesn't matter, like somebody close to us is going to push. So you have to get ready. Okay, so 1 second. So let's read from here. Without allowing the undesirable characteristic to entrench themselves through the repetition. So they entrench themselves into and now to get rid of them, that's very hard, right? The repetition of undesirable acts, as we have explained. Okay, continue. Similarly, he should focus his attention on the most undesirable character traits that he possesses and try to heal them, as we have suggested. For every person surely possesses shortcomings, as the philosophers have said. It is highly unlikely to find a person who by nature possesses all virtues. There is innately has both emotional and intellectual qualities that are developed. Okay, so let's. Okay, so now it's very deep stuff. Let's go to the beginning of this paragraph, and we're going to explain. So Rambam says, similarly, he should focus his attention to the most undesirable character traits that he possesses and try to heal them, as we have suggested. So don't. Okay, of course, there are many small character traits, and it's and they're very important to work on. But like when person has very bad character traits, like big ones, so start working on them. And in the process of working, as Rambam explained, so they're going to all of the small problems are going to fall away. Maybe yes, maybe no, but many of them. I mean, not maybe yes, many of them, but not all. Okay, so try to to work on the worst character trait, and by this you're going to get more merits from HaShem, and HaShem is going to help. Of course, you always. Rambam doesn't say it here, but you always have to pray for mercy and for assistance of HaShem. Right, and that's when our merits of our great forefathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, they kick in. Right here, that you ask Hashem to revive or to make stronger to ourselves this connection to our forefathers, because of our forefathers, they went through all of this tests, and they were able to overcome. Right, and as we said before, we have the spiritual DNA to do the same, right? But you need some little push from Hashem. Okay, continue, and you ask for push. So this push is actually assistance. Okay, so work on a big one. For every person surely possesses shortcomings. So that's there is no ideal person. So if there are no shortcomings, maybe Hashem is going to take him, right? Even. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, after staying in this cave for 13 years, so he came out and he was enraged with the people that were working in the field. Do you understand? And he burned them with his holiness. How come they work in picking up the vegetables instead of relying on HaShem for parnasa and sitting alone in the Torah all the day long, right? So okay, so like Hashem said, that's in my world. That's for shortcoming. You go back to the cave when you cool off. I'm going to let you out. Understand? So even he had little shortcomings. Otherwise, we have okay. Okay, continue. As a philosopher have said. I'm not sure who is the philosopher. Doesn't matter. Okay. He said. Okay, continue. It is highly unlikely to find a person who by nature possesses all the virtues. There is, all virtues. Of course, that's why we have to work on ourselves. So, like, if some of your virtues, and I would say the opposite is also true. There is no person like completely bad, right? Okay, some things that he possesses is good virtues. There is innately has both emotional, intellectual qualities that are developed. Okay. Continue. Any questions on what we said before we continue? Okay, then we continue. The prophets have stressed that the fact that human beings by nature have shortcomings, as it is written, he does not trust his servants, meaning HaShem. And it is written, what merit will men born for a woman possess? And Shlomo HaMelech has said definitively, there is no righteous man on the earth who does only good and does not sin. Okay, so let's try. So, of course, this verse is taken out of context, right? And this Rishaim, they actually use, they say, look, there is no man that do not sin, and I sin a lot, but there is no man who do not sin. But like, how is it explanation to your actions, right? So let's see from the beginning, and we're going to explain. The prophets have stressed that the fact that the human beings by nature have shortcomings, right? So like by nature, we have inclinations, as we said in the beginning of this, maybe in the second chapter, right? We have in inclinations, right? Does not mean that you have to follow this inclination. So some people have a stronger inclination to do wrong, and some people have a lighter inclination, so maybe almost non-existent inclination, but that's why you have to work on them. As it is written, he, meaning HaShem, does not trust his servants, right? So, and as it is written, what merit will a man born for a woman possess, right? So what merit, like he cannot be trusted, and it's actually true. And like, if you know this is as a fact, so it should not sound like to us as derogatory. Opposite is true. So if I know not to trust myself, so and always guard myself from questionable situation, that's good for me. So I'm not means what that I'm not going to fall. I say, look, I have this inclination to eat. I'm not talking about myself. Somebody, right? Somebody like to eat not like, but sometimes he falls for non-kosher food. So that person has to say himself, I'm not going to go the street. Like, you know what? I'm going to the circle, the city, like come from totally different direction. It's going to take me 15 more minutes or I don't know, half an hour, but I'm not going to drive the street. Why? Because it's all of my favorite restaurants, and like same is with everything else. Right, so we have to know that we cannot trust ourselves until when? Until the last second. Right? That's why we celebrate the yard sides of the people, not the birthdays. Wicked people, they celebrate birthdays like, did you do anything good in your life the past year, or you only acquired all of these sins more and more severe? Right? Because why? Because the more person does the same sin, the more severe it becomes. Like for him, it's second nature. So why you celebrated your birthday, right? But righteous people, yesterday was, today was actually, I mean, in the morning, it was 15th of Adar, was Rav Chaim Kanievsky, that's our first yard site. You understand? So that's the reason for celebrating. They publish several books of his biography, other books. I don't remember in ArtScroll. I saw email, but I did not look into it. But it's very interesting, right? This is the reason for celebrating. After he finished, after he went out of this world, yeah, that's the reason for celebration. But here, while he was still alive, we all can fall. Right? Be very, very careful. And King Shlomo said definitely, there is no righteous man. Definitively, that there is no righteous man on the earth who does only good and does not sin. So, but his sin, Rav Kanievsky Zatzal sin, and our sin is a little different, right? So some people take like the lowest of the lowest, like. Okay. So, and they take this verse and say, yeah, so I'm not so bad. So even tzaddikim sin. Okay, but what he does and what you do on a daily basis. You understand? So compare what you do in one day, he does not do in his lifetime. So many sins. They sin on their own level, but you have to be responsible for your own sins. Continue. And the master of all mankind, of both the former and the latter generations, Moshe, our teacher, as it is written, since you did not believe in me, so Hashem said too much, to sanctify me before all of the children of Israel, for you rebelled against my edict in the waters of Meribah, and because you did not sanctify me. So all of this, it was so embarrassing for Moshe Rabbeinu. So what did he do? All of these rebels, all these people, they humiliated him, and he struck the rock, right? And Hashem said about the greatest human being who ever lived in this world. Right, so he said, Hashem saying to Moshe, since you did not believe in me, who Moshe did not believe in Hashem, right? When Moshe said in Dvarim, right, he said, what is Hashem asking of you, to fear him? So in Talmud Megillah, they ask the question, what is the Moshe saying? So they explained, the sages explained, that for Moshe it was nothing. He was on such a big level of fearing of Hashem. So for him, it's what is it? It's hard or something? You're trying to lift up a straw or something, a flower. Is it hard? No, maybe for a person without hand, yeah, it's hard, or like a little baby, right, or some elderly person who could not bend or something. Yeah, for them it's hard. Yeah, but for Moshe it's not hard, right? So and even against this, not against, but even about this greatest human being. So Hashem said, right, since you did not believe in me. So. Right, of course, there are many explanations, but okay, that's what it means. To sanctify me before the children of Israel. So, meaning what? You should have talked to the rock, not to hear it. For you rebel against my edict. So that's Hashem is talking too much. It's so embarrassing too much. Right? The waters of Meribah. So basically, Rambam is saying, look, even Moshe sinned. Right? Continue. He sinned because his nature was inclined to one of the extremes of emotional characteristic, showing anger instead of medium, which is patience, as it is written, listen, you rebellious ones. God rebuked him, for a person like him should not have displayed anger toward the Jewish people in a situation when anger is not called for. Okay, this is the level, for his level, this is considered the desecration of God's name. So let's read it again. 1 second, let's check. Checking time. Okay, so let's read it again and try to understand. So we're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. He sinned because his nature was inclined to the one of the extremes of the emotional characteristic. So we have to understand Moshe, okay, he was angry, but he was angry and with zealousness of Hashem, right? It's not like when he was humiliated personally, when the Datan and Abraham, they said, who is Moshe? Like, he's calling us, we're not going to go. So the Moshe went he kept silence and humble. He did not say, okay, I'm a king, I'm going to kill you. And if we would say as a king to execute somebody, that would stand. You understand? So, but Moshe, personal embarrassment, he was would let it go. But embarrassment, to Hashem's name, right? That he would not, right? So, but he got angry. Emotional characteristics showing anger instead of the median, which is a patience. So anger is not good, but I would say I just want to add, it's my personal. It's not from here, but it's my personal. So if somebody humiliates you, if it's something against you, there is no problem. But if somebody makes fun of Hashem, so that's a reason to get angry. Maybe not really angry, but at least show anger, right, outside, like that you protest, and to scare other people. That's a proper way of handling the situation. If it's about you, somebody humiliate you, keep silence. Continue. For it is written, listen, you rebellious ones. So now he's talking to nation of Israel, and it says, listen, you rebellious one. Okay, God rebuked him, right? So he said that they're going to now stone me, these rebels, they're going to stone me. Hashem said, no, go in front of them. They're not going to stone you. Why are you so emotional? But again, he was zealous for Hashem. For the person like him should not have displayed anger toward the Jewish people. So he's a leader, okay, like mother. Okay, the mother is sometimes very angry with the child, but not so much. You understand? Jewish people in a situation where anger is not called for, especially here. I mean, the former slave, they do not understand. I mean, even they saw Hashem and saw that there is no one but Hashem, but they are not for many things you need some time to comprehend. It must settle in your mind. Okay, so to get angry at somebody that person does not understand just because you explained 7 times, okay, it's not proper. Continue. Why was every particular of Moshe conduct so important? Okay, because the people would learn from each of his deeds and words, and by emulating his example, they hope to merit succeed in this world, and in the world to come. How then could anger come from such a person? For anger is an improper act, as explained, coming from undesirable character traits. So it's very, very interesting point that Rambam is making. So all of these people who wants to be very famous and very wealthy, so they would read the biography of these rich people, Bill Gates, other of these people, Bezos, I don't know who else, all of these rich people, these politicians or whatever. So, and they would try to emulate them and say, okay, if this person went this path and he did this and this, and he became so successful for so many years, so if I learn from his deeds, I also going to be very successful. So that's a natural way of thinking, right? So same Lechad, of course, but with our famous person. So we just said that he's the most holy person, the most humble person, as Hashem testified himself. He said, the only one who spoke to me face to face. That's it. Only Moshe, right? So people will try to emulate him, all of the character traits, right? It's very interesting point. So one more time, why was very particular of Moshe conduct so important? Meaning to punish him, Moshe, our teacher, so severely, for he became angry in a situation. I think all of us would get angry or annoyed or frustrated, right? So why? Because the people learn from each of his deeds and words, right? So they follow him, how he behaved in such a situation. So they would say, yeah, under certain circumstances, it's okay to get angry. Hashem said, no. And by emulating this example, his example, sorry, they hope to merit to succeed in the world and the world to come. So Moshe Rabbeinu, like was successful in this world, right? He was the leader of Jewish nation, and he is very big in the world to come. So Hashem took him like personally. So if you would, it's normal as we said, lehavdil with these famous figures, right? What people they try to follow the copycats, right? Their path. So same is here, lehavdil, right? Separation, right? That people would try to follow the path of Moshe Rabbeinu. How then could anger come from such a person, right? So Hashem shows all of it, whatever he did is good, is very good. He was humble. He refused the mission because he did not want to, one of the reasons, did not want to offend his brother, take his place. All of this, or whatever he did in his lifetime, we learn a lot, right? Right, but this is not good. So Hashem shows all of this learn from Moshe Rabbeinu, but this trait do not learn. Right, to get angry. For anger is improper act, as explained, coming from undesirable character trait. Continue. Any questions on what we said before I continue? Okay, so then we continue. With regard to this, it is written, for you rebel against my edict. For the reason I will for the reason I will explain, right? So I think it's Rambam is talking. I will explain. Moshe was not speaking with the mass of common people, but rather with individuals on a high spiritual level. Our sages say that the lowest of their women was on the level of the prophets of Yechezkel, the son of Buzi. And they would evaluate everything Moshe said and or did. When they saw that he became angry, knowing that he was not among those whose emotional qualities were impaired, they assumed that God had already become enraged against them for asking for war, and that they already incurred God's rage. For otherwise, Moshe would not have become angry. This was not the case. God did not show either anger or rage when speaking with him. He merely said, "Take the staff and give water to the congregation in their flocks." Since Moshe created a mistaken impression of God's will, it was considered a sin. That's amazing explanation, very, very unusual explanation, and we're going to read this part and explain line by line. Very interesting. So it says, with regard to this, it is written, you rebelled against my edict. Okay, so Hashem said, so you meaning Moshe and Aaron. For this reason, I will explain. So Rambam is saying, right? So Hashem said, you rebel against my edict. Okay. Edict meaning just to jump to the end. Hashem was not angry, right? So and people look at Moshe and his selflessness, right? It says like yes, who wrote? It's famous question. Who wrote the Torah? Moshe. So it's not God. It's Moshe. No. Right, so it's Moshe. Yeah, it is Moshe who wrote the Torah, but he was like a pen, right, or like a hand. So who's writing when we take notes? Yeah, the hand is writing, the pen is writing, right? But is it pen is writing? No, pen itself cannot write, and hand itself cannot write. It's actually your intellect is writing. So same is here. Yeah, the Moshe wrote Torah, but he was very humble. Just whatever, like hand does not have its own opinion. So Moshe did not have his own opinion, right? So and if he would become angry, so it looks like Hashem is angry. So which is not the case. So, but let's go into details. Moshe was not speaking with a mass of common people, but rather with individual on a high spiritual level. So he called this rebels and stuff like that. So who this probably, I guess this most likely to the 70 elders, right, and other prominent people, maybe heads of the tribes and stuff like that, right? Our sages say, so it's not like stupid people who do not understand. It's very, very righteous people. Only righteous people were among these 70 sages. Our sages say that the lowest of the women was on the level of prophets of Yechezkel, the son of Buzi. So when they were crossing the Sea of Reeds, right, when Hashem opened all of the seven heavens, as the Medrash says, right, and all of them saw there's nobody there, only on the throne of Hashem, whatever it means, right? And it says actually in Yechezkel, its first chapter. So I mean, it's very, very interesting. So that's how we know how the angels look like from this chapter, and some Kisei Avot and some other things, right? So and from all of the prophets, the Yechezkel detail it more completely, right? So he gives a vivid picture for people who have imagination, of course. Right, so and in the time of crossing of the sea, even the lowest of the women, meaning the slaves, or not slaves, but I'm not sure about slave, maybe the slave woman. So she would have even higher prophecy than Yechezkel. So needless to say, so the comparison is if they were on that level, this lady, the lowest of the lady, was on that level. So needless to say, the highest these sages, what level they were, right? So that's the comparison, and they would evaluate everything Moshe said or did. So because why he goes talk to God, right? He's very close to God. Okay, so they were and they knew that he would not add anything from his own opinion. Okay, so whatever he did is according to Hashem. When they saw that he became angry, knowing that he was not among those whose emotional qualities were impaired, so they knew him as a perfect human being, right? And whatever he does is correct. Is his correct reaction to whatever happens. They assumed that God had already become enraged against them for asking for water, right? So they say most likely Moshe is just mirroring the attitude of Hashem toward us. That's it, right? He would not get angry at us, so it's because of the Hashem, right? And that they already incurred God's rage. So Hashem is angry at us. That's through Moshe. That's where we're getting the message. For otherwise, Moshe would not have become angry, right? He loves Jewish people. If Hashem is not angry, why Moshe would get angry, right? So that's why it was a sin, right? Because Hashem was not angry with us. This was not the case, for God did not show anger or rage even when speaking with him. So it's not like Hashem said, look, I'm very upset with them, I'm angry with them, but don't tell them, just give the message. So when one leader would talk, right? When a king would talk to his assistant, so he said, I want to kill these people, but you know what? I don't want a rebellion in my kingdom. Let's try to resolve it a different way, right? Even though he's enraged. So it's not the case. Hashem was not enraged. He merely said, take this staff and give the water to the congregation in their flags. So Hashem said, look, what do they want? They want water? Okay, take your staff, get them water. Go do your job, right? Since Moshe created a mistaken impression of God's will, it considered a sin. So his sin was again that he created this impression that Hashem was angry with people for asking for water. Okay, of course they ask improperly and this and that, but Hashem was not angry at them for this. Continue. Just 1 second. Continue. This is departure from contents of this chapter. It does, however, answer one of the questions many have asked with regard to the Torah. Many have discussed the issue and questioned what sin did Moshe committed. Compare our explanation of this passage with that of the others. Okay, the path of the truth will show you its way. So it's very interesting. So it's very famous question. What Moshe did to deserve such a punishment? So let's see the commentary. Say perhaps Rambam was referring to interpretation of Rav Sadia Gaon in his commentary to the Torah of Rav Rabbeinu Hananiel. Okay, a commentary of Rambam. Okay, so we don't know what Rambam meant, but he said, look, I gave you the best explanation, and it's very, very unusual explanation, but it's very deep and very, if you think about it, it's very truthful, very interesting. Continue. To return to the subject, under the discussion, if persons continually evaluates his conduct and directs toward the mean, he will achieve the highest level of the conduct possible for a mortal. In this way, he will draw close to God and grasp His will. Right. So let's try to understand. So even though we spoke about it before, but let's try to understand what this says here. To return to the subject under discussion. Right. So what we started maybe two classes ago. If person continued and evaluates his conduct and directs toward the mean, right? That's what evaluation is needed, right? To try to stay on the path, on the mean. Mean is like a medium. He will achieve the highest level of conduct possible for a mortal. Meaning, if you continue evaluate yourself, there is the accounting. If somebody is accountant, so that they check the balance every day. Unless you check the balance every day and you see this customer is full, he's trying to leave us. For example, in the past 2 weeks, his orders fell 25%, 30%. So it's a red flag, right? So that's the same as us. Only when we evaluate on a daily basis our character traits, so we have a chance to succeed. In this way, he will draw close to God and grasp His will. So all of this is said, right? And the biggest joy in the world, the biggest happiness in the world, can be achieved only to be close to HaShem. Period. All other things temporary and then not going to last and not going to bring you joy. Okay. So but with the proper character traits, you can come close to HaShem. Our sages have already spoken about this matter, saying, it's from Moed Katan, Sota 5b. Okay. Whoever waits his path of conduct will merit the salvation of the Holy One, blessed be He, as it is written, to whoever position his path, I will show the salvation of God. Do not read Sam, positions, but rather Shem, wait. Okay. So what does it mean? So let's try to understand what sages are saying here before we continue. Whoever waits his path of conduct will merit the salvation of the Holy One, blessed be He. Meaning that he's not going to fall. When you constantly evaluate your path, so you're not going to fall. To whoever salvation of Holy One. So salvation of Holy One, blessed be He, means that HaShem helps people who wants to do good, and who wants the person who wants to be close to Him. So He said that's what you want. I'm going to help you. And opposite is true. If a person is trying to go the wrong path, HaShem is going to help him to go the wrong path. He is going to send all the people, all the circumstances that he would fall for sure. Okay, as it is written, to whomever positions his path, will I show the salvation of God. So whoever is trying to go the right way, so Hashem is going to help. Do not read Sam positions, but rather Shem wait. Right. So wait meaning this accounting. whoever way his path is going to get helped. Weighing means gauging and evaluating, and of course we have to be truthful with ourselves. That's I think obvious. This is the interest of our statement in this chapter, and this is what we see necessary to explain concerning this matter. So, actually, we finish chapter 4, and I think we can stop here. We're not going to stop. So, next chapter, number 5. The topic is directing our powers to the one goal. Right. So, trying not to spread through some people try to go different direction at the same time. It's not going to work. So a person have to say this is important, while others are going to I would deal separately. For example, if a person said I want to pray with minyan, man, I'm talking about man, 3 times a day. So minyan is primary, and all other things that just revolve around this. So my minyan started at this time, so I have to get up at this time, have to leave the minyan this time and go to work, go whatever I need, and same my classes or my other activities, I have to go to Min Hamarib. It's always good, but it's going to revolve around this my activities. So when you have a straight goal, you're never going to miss. If you know that Shabbos is very important, you're not going to come 15 minutes before Shabbos, in half an hour also, and 1 hour also, right from work, and 2 hours most likely not. Why? Because everything happens, and you wanted to enjoy, have to set your mood, so you're going to run 3 hours, 3.5 hours before Shabbos starts, even in the winter. Okay. So why? Because it's important to you. Okay, we can stop here. Any questions on any subject? Okay, no problem. No questions, no problem. So tomorrow we're going to. Oh yeah, go ahead.
About the class yesterday, I have this thought about wine. If it covers everything the same as bread does.
Oh no. So okay. Thank you very much. So wine covers only the beverages, same as the bread does all other foods, but bread does not cover the wine. So for example, yesterday we have the meal, Purim meal. So we went to wash our hands, ate bread, and during the meal we had a little wine. Right, so we had to say that the separate blessing on wine, because wine is very important product, and bread does not cover. But all other beverages, whatever person is going to drink during the meal, are covered by bread for sure. And wine covers only all other beverages, not the solid foods.
So it cannot be used in the same way as bread. The last time I say something about that to avoid, to prevent doing many blessings, just eat 2 sides of bread and cover everything. Wine, that's not the same.
No. Only bread covers all of the food. Wine covers only beverages. That's the difference. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so no problem. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you allowed to wear a watch on Shabbos? Just I can't remember if you're allowed to. I forgot.
Okay, that's a good question. So we're talking about. So I assume that you're talking about the area when without Eruv, because if there is an Eruv, like in campus, and there's halachic Eruv, meaning in an area where you can carry things, that's a different story. So you of course you can wear the watch. But let's say when you are in an area when there is no Eruv or there is no reliable Eruv, right? So it's a very good question. So it depends who you are, right? So I would say just say for women, no problem. Why? For women, no problem. Because for women, it's like a jewelry. It's like decoration, right? There is no problem. They wear like necklace, rings, no problem. For men, not so much. And the example our sages say, look at the brilliance of our sages. So they said let's say this guy has a watch, I don't know, like $20,000 watch, right? But let's say it's not working for whatever reason, the battery is out, whatever. So he's not going to wear, like it's a cost a lot. So he's not going to wear this watch on Shabbos. Why? I mean, on a regular day. Why? Because it's not exactly the like decoration for him. It's like the watch is there to tell time. So it's not article of clothing for him. So for women, many women, so if it's not sparkling watch, they're going to wear like as a decoration, it's a bracelet. It's a beautiful bracelet. So that's why for women there is no problem to wear a watch. For men, they do not do not wear the watch. On Shabbos, if there is no Eruv, there is a like a lenient opinion. They say if it's very expensive watch. I don't know what's very expensive. Depends on the place where you live. Maybe about 2,000 or 5,000. I don't know. So maybe golden watch with diamonds. I don't know. So yeah, they would allow, but as a decoration, because it makes him happy, right, to show out the watch. For me, it's okay. I have different opinion, but psychological opinion. If a man has to show off to another man with a watch, like go learn some Torah, go learn whatever we learn in a Rambam. Maybe going to straighten you up a little. But for women, there is no problem. If she enjoys to wear these things, no problem. That's the thing. So on Shabbos, you're allowed to do. 1 second. Let me finish. Just 1 second. Sorry. So on Shabbos, you're allowed to wear some article of clothing, right, to protect yourself from elements, for your dignity, right, from elements, for your dignity, and for your medical needs. Some bandages, for example, it would be allowed. But all other things that are not clothing, so watch for a man, it's not clothing and it's not decoration. So if it's like that's it, it's not. So if it's broken, he would not wear. But women, I don't want to say all women, but many women would wear, especially they have smaller watches, right? And the bracelets is beautiful, sparkling. So for them, it's like a decoration. There is no problem. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. So just to make sure, you can wear it no matter what. We have an arrow of no or not. You can wear it. Yes.
For women, okay. Yes. Okay. If it is but it must be like something like of value, and it's not like for example, kids cannot. Kids is different. Okay, well, let's say a woman cannot wear a plastic watch, like a cheap one, like Timex, I don't know, because it's not a decoration. It's just to take time. She has to pick up her baby from her friends at I don't know 2:30 p.m. Let's say on Shabbat. So that's what she's. It's a very practical decoration. Yes, practical no. When there is no Eruv, when there is a Eruv, you can wear. Go ahead.
Okay, so no wearing it if there's no arrow.
If it's cheap stuff, if it's not for decoration.
But if it's jewelry and decorating, it's fine. Okay.
Yeah, so that doesn't have to be like jewelry, like gold or something. But if it's like made very nicely, like she would want to show off to her friends, there is no problem. So she can wear. But like some Timex, like $5 watch, like I don't know, just to tell time. They're pretty accurate. Maybe of to 1 or 2 minutes a month, but it's pretty accurate. Okay, so.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
One more other question I have, like on Shabbos, if like I live in Florida and it's really hot, and sometimes if you walk to shul, you're all sweaty when you come home. Would you be able to not shower? I know you can shower, but you have to be different parts. So I'm not sure how to do that if that's the case.
No, we don't shower on Shabbos. Period. So some say it's maybe for a cold water, but we're trying to stay away from all of these things as far as possible, because it's only a matter of time when a person starts showering with the warm water. Okay, so but partially, person can wash his hands, her hands, face, and the feet. So those like why hands, face, and feet? Because that's what most of the people commonly wash. As feet, of course, we don't wash feet every day. For example, unless you take shower. But in older days, they would wash, because many people were walking barefoot, so they would wash their feet. So technically, yeah. So just I guess walk a little slower and do not sweat so much.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I understand what you're saying. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. And our sages, great sages, say so women complain it's hot in the summer, so I'm going to leave half of the clothing in a closet because it's hot. But our sages say if she would think about it, and say for men also must be modest, right? So if you imagine that every drop of sweat, whatever sweat, like under the clothes we have, like you would imagine that for every drop of the sweat, you're going to get paid one diamond, same size. So would it bother you so much that it's hot, or you would be very happy? So and our sages explain that's what the modesty is. That's what we have to look the modesty. Like of course we're doing it because HaShem said so, but on a side note, there is a special bank account like in Shemoneh when every drop of sweat, right, because of the modesty, is going to deposit as a little diamond for that. You understand? So when you look at the things with the right perspective, it's not hot. It's not hot. You understand? Not on Shabbos and not on other days. But people with shallow people who thinks that just because he or she, like sometimes like men, like they wear like in a shul, in a sandals, you normal, like, you understand? So it's not proper. It's not kavod to the shul, especially to the shul. Men come with a short sleeve. Okay, so it's hot. It's not that hot. Go ahead.
How about Yom Tov, Rabbi? Is the same application for Yom Tov?
Okay, so you are asking different question. So I'm planning maybe bli neder, Beezrat HaShem, after we finish Monday book, wherever we learn laws for women, I'm planning to start the laws for Yom Tov. So with all of the applications, it's a little different, but that's my plan. Beezrat HaShem. I just said because you asked, but Beezrat HaShem.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, yeah. It's very different. It's very different from Shabbos. So one of the things like more light, but some other things are more strict. And just to give you like a little glimpse, because the people were treating Yom Tov like it's a day off, and I can do many things. I am off the work, so maybe I'm going to take care of some house chores, right? And our sages said absolutely not. So in some sense, and we're going to see, things are actually muktzah. They're not muktzah on Shabbos, but on Yom Tov, our sages say it's muktzah. You're not allowed to touch it. So our sages, if you just try to understand, and we should use our intellect, not to like find the solution, but just listen to our sages. All of the solutions are in Torah. You just need to know where to find it. Okay. Any other questions? Any topic?
Brother,
Go ahead.
I also live in Florida, so I know the heat. When I go over to someone's house for Shabbos, is it proper just to take an extra pair of clothes because, like just to maintain cleanliness?
No, okay, but you, if there is no air, I see what you're saying. You're not allowed to wear clothing. You're not allowed to carry. If you would bring to their house, let's say it's your friend, close friend, right? And you leave the clothing over there, right, before Shabbos. You went on, you brought the Thursday night, and then you go to the friend and you change. There is no problem then. You can leave your clothing and then you pick up after Shabbos. But you're not allowed to carry on Shabbos. You understand? Unless there's exactly.
Yeah, there's a neighbor. There's a neighbor.
Okay, so yes, then you will be allowed. Yes, because even with the Eruv, you're not allowed to carry anything you want. No, it's only for the Shabbos needs. Whatever you need for Shabbos, you're allowed to carry. Right? So you need a book to read, so you can take 5 books. And if it's somebody is allowed to carry, so there is no minimum amount, no maximum amounts. For example, you have a baby, little baby, you need to take diapers. So you're not obligated to count. Look, it's only 2 hours. I need maybe 3 or 4. No, you can take the whole pack. You can take 20. You understand? So when it is allowed. Same with clothing. You can take 3 shorts. Just in case you're going to need 3 shorts. Okay, that's when there is Eruv, no problem. Of course, verify it's Orthodox verified Eruv, and otherwise it's sounds like I'm talking the Eruv where I live, so you know who is who. You understand? Because the greatest of the great who ever lived in our city, the Moshe Feinstein Zatzal, he said he saw all of these things, that all of these people who advocated for Eruv, and he said absolutely not. And he have a booklet, and I think so. I went with my Chavrusa through these answers. So I think they give like 30 or 40 or 50. I don't remember a reason why there is no problem with Eruv where I live. And he went one by one of them, and it says it's problem with every one of them. And these people, I don't want to say this Rishaim, but I don't know, they went behind his back, right? And of course they did not tell. The guy asked them a question, took his answer out of context. Guess what? And he said, yeah, Reb Moshe said that's good. And they start building without ever verifying with Reb Moshe Zatzal, and they counted on this word of this individual. Right, and after it was completed, so Reb Moshe was surprised, like, how come? I said no. Said, Rabbi, you said yes. He said, I never said yes, never ever. He came, this Rabbi, also sneaky guy, right? He was pushing his agenda, and asked him indirect question, and Reb Moshe asked like hypothetical question, and that's how they derive this and build the Eruv. So you know who is who. So religious people do not care, but same they do. They go with the backpacks. You understand? So that's the thing. But in smaller places, there is many times in small places there is no problem to build a Eruv. No problem whatsoever. I mean, smaller places when not too much like at human traffic. No problem. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, one quick story, and I'm going to let you know. They came to Rav Ben Zion Abba Shul Zatzal, right, the greatest Sephardic rabbi, and they say, Rabbi, how come you allowed the weeks? Right? He said, I allowed the weeks? Like when exactly I allowed the weeks? Right? He said, no, you answer one person, the weeks are allowed. And he was trying to remember. He said, no, that's not how it went. So this guy came, the sneaky person, right? So he came and asked, are you allowed to say the Shema when in front of your wife when she's wearing a wig? Let's say kosher wig, let's say, right? So he said, yeah, you can say the Shema because her hair is a cover, so you can say. And this Rasha went out and say, in the name of Rabbi, the biggest rabbi, Sephardic rabbi at that time, right? You're allowed to wear wigs. You understand? That's what people do. That's if a person does not have Yirat Shamayim, fear of heaven, that's what they do. They're going to manipulate facts. And unfortunately, that's what people do. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead, please. Yes.
As far as going back to the showering and stuff, I know I've heard the shiurim about that, about getting paid for your sweat and whatnot. But are we not, obligated to be in some type of cleanliness all the time? I mean, because I know some people that sweat more than others.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
They like to be clean because it's presentable. And
mm-hmm.
I know I've heard, I can't know I heard that, it's a sense of responsibility for us to be clean, not to be, disgusting like that.
So that's very very good. So first of all, you can apply deodorant before Shabbos. First of all, second of all, you can change your clothing completely. So if your clothing like is fresh, it's not going to smell that much, and plus you have deodorant. It's not such a big deal. People in Yerushalayim, all the Hasidim, they no problem. They walk in 100 degrees weather. There is no problem. Okay, of course, like partially you can wash, and it's proper if you have an early minion, so that's what you have to go to. So if there's a choice, for example, when we were in Israel, so I would go like people start because they don't want to like pay for air conditioner for the shul, right? One of the reasons, right? So they would start even on Shabbos like 6 a.m., like 5:30 a.m. So I mean, for me it was shock, but okay, they start. It's the closest shul to me, so I would go to that minyan. Very nice that if we finish when it's still fresh outside, like 8 a.m. It's not hot. So when it's hot, so we stay inside, indoors. So that's another solution. If you have an early minyan, go to early one, and then take a nap during the day and enjoy. You understand? So that's what we're trying to do.
Do you also use like those nowadays they have those wet?
Or wet napkins, like baby wipes?
Yeah, something like that, or even like washcloth with water. Is that possible?
We see. Okay, the problem with the baby wipes is that you're going to squeeze. That's the thing. So one of the prohibitions on Shabbos, you're not allowed to squeeze the liquid. So with the baby, like even when you wipe the baby, right, newborn, and not newborn, like a baby, you wipe with the baby, you have to be very gentle, not to squeeze the liquid. Absolutely. Oh, even though it is unintentional and it's rabbinical, but still we try not to do that. So if it's baby wipes, for example, somebody asked me before. So I said if you leave them open for some time when it's half dry, not fresh as everybody likes, half dry, when for sure that you're not going to squeeze anything. Yeah, but make sure. Another things with these baby wipes is they actually usually they attach to one another, and you're not allowed to separate them. So whatever you want to use, this baby wipe, there is no problem. Half dry, no problem, but separate them like what you do with toilet paper. You're not allowed to read by the measurement. That's another issue. Okay, what else? Any other questions? Go ahead.
Yes, so just to add on to what you just to this topic, just to throw it out there, I personally own, and I've seen special baby wipes for Shabbos. Like they have their own a stamp of approval from rabbis to say like it's kosher for use on Shabbos because of their lack of the amount of moisture on the wipes themselves would not constitute as like if you break Shabbat. And also I think they're separate. I think they're separate. I haven't to check, but I don't know off the top of my head as well. Yes. So if anybody I think you just find online if you do want to search for those. See if they sell in a store near you. You could buy those specifically if you want to use baby wipes. Shabbos.
Okay, thank you very much. Or if you want to wipe yourself with a dry like a napkin, there is no problem whatsoever.
Right, as well. Yeah.
So yeah, well, whatever you want to do. So those as I say, I mean, of course they cost 7 times more. It's capitalism, right? But if you want to do exactly the same, just separate them, leave before Shabbos for them to dry, like for a few days unopened, then they're going to get dry, like half of dry, and you can use them on Shabbos. Whatever you want. But make sure if you buy of course, where this gentleman said, of course, they are all separated because nobody would put their stamp of approval, right? But if you want a cheaper solution, you just do it yourself. That's it, much cheaper. Same as a Shabbos soap. You go to the store, Jewish store, they sell you the Shabbos, the dish soap, if you need to wash dishes, right? So it's, or even the hand soap for Shabbos. It's very, very watery. So you take your soap, whatever you hand soap, and just put some water, like shake it, and it's going to be as watery as as well, right? So you use it for Shabbos, no problem. What do you use? Whatever. I mean, much cheaper. Why should you pay like for somebody add water to the soap? You can do the same. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. So then we stop here, and then next week we'll need to adjust our schedule. So I need some time to think, but we're going to keep you posted. So next week, because we switch time. Okay. So thank you very much. Good night. Tomorrow we're doing Shabbos kitchen. Beezrat Hashem. Thank you.